Talk about some launch pads that I have built. I built several different launch pads, each for a different purpose. And I'd like to talk today about a small launch pad just called my mini pad. And it's a launch pad designed for only one single type of launch rod. And it's very handy. Typically when I work at one of the clubs, they have public launching, namely people will bring their rockets and they'll put them on their launch pads for you. But this gives some additional launch capacity so that we can have people set up their rockets and launch them. So we're going to start out. I'm staring at this big white thing on the floor. This is a fiberglass fire blanket. The NAR, the National Association of Rocketry, does specify that launch pads should have a fire blanket underneath them. And if we reach over here to the ruler, you'll see it's about 3.5 feet wide by 3.5 feet. I am making this video in the basement. It snowed yesterday, so it's kind of a cold day, so I'm not going to do this outside. I guess this gives us some nice wintertime activities about thinking about launch pads and what we can build. So this particular fire blanket, I got this from the hardware store. It's around $20. It's made out of fiberglass. And it's usually used for smothering flames, so you grab onto the handles, you smother flames. We're going to put our launch pad on top of this. Another club that I'm at, if you show up without a fire blanket, they'll give you one. Say, here, use this. So some are very insistent on it. Others, sometimes it doesn't matter as much. If I'm flying in a plowed farmer's field, a level of dirt is not going to really catch on fire there's nothing to burn within a mile. So sometimes it doesn't really matter, but many clubs try to stick to the official regulations to make sure everybody's in compliance, to show it to the national that they are being safe. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'll show you what I built. And there's really two different parts to this. I talk about a base being separate from the platter. So this base, I made this in just an afternoon, and it consists of a few pieces of PVC. And the whole idea of this base was to make something that's really easy to put together, and it's easy to carry out to the launch field. In many cases, where we launch from might be maybe even up to an 1/8 to a 1/4 mile walk away due to where the wind directions are going. So I needed something that I could easily pop apart and put back together. So this particular one, 3 pieces of PVC, and just wrap a little elastic band around this, and I'm all set. But this particular launch pad is actually very useful, so let's take a look at how it works. So basically, we've got this piece in the middle, the cross piece, and this piece consists of a T with 2 extenders. And that's it, everything's all glued together. Now this T, as you notice, has this pipe clamp around it. And you'll notice I use pipe clamps on 2 other places. What this does, it allows me to put another piece of PVC in here, and rather than friction fitting with tape, I can compress it slightly with this pipe clamp. So if I squeeze it really tight, I can shrink this down just enough that it provides a lot of strength to allow me to connect it together without using tape. And again, I like to think about the engineering aspect of this. I don't want to put things together with tape. so let's go ahead and use some stronger mechanical mechanisms. Okay, so this just goes together quite easily. It's just a matter of putting the pipes in. And this has a very tight fit because I have these clamps on here, which is clamped down. So go ahead and set this on the ground and just straighten it up a little bit. And there we go. We're all set. We have an instant launch pad. So this launch pad is really nice. This end and this end are not glued. That allows the center part to tip back and forth. I'm going to put this on to give a little bit of leverage. If I want, I can tip this many different directions. Tighten this up a little bit. And if I want, I can tip this to maybe compensate for the unevenness of the ground, or maybe to compensate for the wind. What's really nice is when I have this, I sometimes just pull it around like this, and it gets real easy to adjust. Just drag it back and forth. And again, it's a very simple launch pad. It's really nice to give this to the people who are just starting out in rocketry. So it's like, okay, you can't break it, just go ahead and pull it back and forth. If you wanted to tip this way, you can go ahead and do that and move it around. Works out really, really nice. So this is a nice type of base. And again, this particular way that it's put together, this clamp to hold the centerpiece in and on the ends, but also this part and this part are not glued, which give us the capability to tip as you need. And of course, the whole thing just pops apart. It fits in my wagon as I walk away. Okay, so this takes care of the base, and you can see the base in the middle directly supports the rocket that's going to be above this. Maybe a 1/16 of an inch of play, very, very tight right now. So let's go ahead and take a look at how we build the actual launch platter. I call these launch platters simply because I usually build them from parts that I find in the housewares parts of most stores. So we have our base, and what's nice about making this detachable is that I can put various launch platters on here. So using this as an adapter system where I can put different types of platters on it is very nice. I can put on this an 1/8 inch, a 3/16 or a 1/4 inch rod depending on what I'm flying. I typically use this whenever I'm going to fly a lot of a given style, like the polar bear launch. That was all 1/8 inch, so I only brought a single launch platter for 1/8, popped it in, and it was all set for the entire day. So let's take a look at a launch platter. This one that I made, it was very quick to put together, but I want to talk about this one. It looks like this. It looks a little goofy, but let's get into the light here so I can see what's actually going on. You see, this is a stainless steel mixing bowl. It's extremely strong. Stainless steel is heat resistant, and what I have in the center of this is a PVC T. Namely, it's got the horizontal connections and the vertical connections, and this is connected to the bowl by using a bolt to the top. This is recommended on plenty of other videos where they say, okay, have the bolt in the top, just screw it down and everything is solid. That's generally true, but not completely true. What I found is if you only have the bolt in the middle, it's only attached at one point, and this this PVC T, will tend to wiggle back and forth. So you don't get a strong connection. So what I've done is I've added an extra screw along this particular container, and this actually goes down into the PVC. It's hard to see it. It's down in here, but it's somewhere right around this point right here. So now I've got 2 points of attachment. I've got this leg bolt in the center, and I've got the screw on the side. That now is a fairly strong connection. I don't have the ability to put a clamp on this. I tried. What I found is that I just can't get in there to tighten it very well. I could probably play around with this a little bit more, maybe use a socket wrench or something else. But since this is a fairly simple design, I decided it's just, it does what it does quite well, and I just, use it as is. So if we look at this and how it works, you can see there's a bunch of black stuff around here. So I have used this for several launches. What's interesting is that the blast hits the center and it scatters it out, but then some of it scatters off to the side, and some of it will actually tend to hug the actual container itself. So if you look at this, you start seeing that there's some residue along the edge in here, and here's a little bit more, where the rocket blast hit, and then it flowed down the sides, and it hit this edge, and it came out. So it works quite well, and again, it was just a spur-of-the-moment solution saying, well, hey, I need something that's metal, heavy, steel. This worked just fine. So I screwed it all together, and I had my adapter here. So again, I call these things launch platters because in the future I actually use stainless steel dinner platters. So we can call this maybe a launch bowl if you want to be a little bit more specific. Let's take a look at what happens when we put a launch rod into this. This is the standard Estes launch rod, and let me shuffle over some space. Yes, I am making this in my basement, so bear with me with all the stuff that's laying around. It's a little bit too cold outside to do all this. But this does have an 1/8 inch hole, and you notice that the center of the T is here, one side of the T is here, the rod is over here. What's nice about this is that this is where the launch rod is going to be, and the rocket exhaust is going to come straight down and hit the center. So that's really good. It's going to hit this and it's going to scatter. This bolt is going to absorb a lot of the blast. So again, it's a very, very strong design. Again, there are other videos that talk about this, and yes, this does work quite effectively, assuming you add an extra screw to help hold that all together. So now we have our launch rod. You see the way this works is it just simply goes into the T down here. I don't know how easy that is to see on camera, but the T has the hole, and then there's a little bit of a notch inside of this PVC here. So the bottom of the launch rod will fit into the little notch inside of this. And that's done in many other videos as well. It works reasonably well, but it's not very tight. The rod does shake a little bit. So let me go ahead and just kind of stick that in there, and now it's in the notch. So I can feel it, it's in the notch, and it's quite stiff, holds quite well, but it is a little bit loose. And that looseness is the fact that these holes do have to be drilled a little bit larger than the rod, and that provides a little bit of play. But for this rod, it's fairly small, and it works quite well. So now we have our launch bowl ready to use on the launch pad. If you look at this here, this looks really, really nice. It is off by a little bit. You see it's tipped a little bit, and that's part of the fact that trying to get these holes exactly straight is not easy to do. I don't have any precision machining equipment, just a hand drill, so some of these are just off a little bit, but that's okay. We can tip the launch pad if we need to adjust for this. Everything will be fine. So let's look at how we're going to actually put this onto the launch pad. Oh, by the way, I'm going to also comment that these clamps on here have a 3/16 nut, and just simply put this on here and tighten it, and you are in business. What's interesting is that now this PVC, this has tape, but it's used to fit inside the bowl because I don't have a pipe clamp inside there. So this is going to fit inside the bowl. This end is going to fit in here. It's going to be quite secure. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and put this piece of PVC into the T. We see that's holding in there quite well. Now I'm going to go ahead and put this into the launch base down here. And now we are all set for launch. Here we go. We're all set. It's got a very strange look to it, and people look at this and go, what kind of crazy launch pad is that? But you know, people really do like this. You know, they like the fact that it's like, well, it's an innovative design. You built it yourself, and you had fun doing it, and that's really what model rocketry is all about. So, as I commented before, I can take this and just very easily push it and say, okay, we can tip it over this side if we want. And you notice we are getting some launch rod whip. It does whip back and forth. The way to stop it from whipping is that you can do a couple of things. One is you can use a wider rod, but then you're going to have problems with some of the launch lugs. But also, the way that it's connected to the base. If there's even a small amount of play, it's going to keep on bouncing around a lot. So we want to eliminate that play. And I'll show you how to do that in future designs. So let's go ahead, we'll just tip this back up. Assuming we're going to do more of a vertical launch. We're all set. Just slide the rocket on the rod, and we're all set to go. Now, one thing that I like doing is if you slide the rocket on the rod, sometimes it'll be down so close that it's going to, the clips are going to hit and short out, or there's just not enough space to connect them. So what I do is I have a little box here of aluminum pipe. And so these were, I think this is this is about 1/4 inch wide, maybe it's close to a half. But all I did was just cut this into various lengths, and you can see some of these have been used quite a bit. The idea is just slide this over your launch rod. So now when you put your rocket on the pad, you'll slide down your launch lug, the bottom of the rocket will hit here, giving you plenty of space to hook up your ignition system. The other important thing is that this does help with the whipping. So if you have your rod whipping around a little bit and your rocket's resting against this particular little piece of pipe here, it tends to hold your rod a little bit better and keeps it from bouncing back and forth. So again, there's a lot of little things, but these little things do help out quite a bit. We have now a fully functional launch pad. It's very stiff, very rigid. We won't get any bouncing effects. And if you place this little spacer on here, it helps you space the rocket, so you can wire up the igniter. It also tends to absorb some of the rocking back and forth so that your launch rod doesn't bounce around as much. So all of the many things, it works out quite well. So this is my mini pad, as I call it, and I'm going to show another design where I actually have multiple pads with different size rods. But you can see this is actually quite fun. So when I set up my regular launch system, I usually set this up alongside of it, and when there's a need for a public launch, they usually just flag me down and say, hey, do you have a 1/8 inch rod? I go, hey, no problem. We go ahead and put the rocket on here, and we go ahead and launch. So everybody has a lot of fun doing this. But what's really fun about this is many times some of the younger kids like the unusual shape of this, and it's like, oh wow, that's kind of like a fire out space design. So it's a fun thing to do. Okay, so that pretty much wraps it up for this particular video. This is one of my launch pads. I'm going to be showing some other launch pad designs after this. And this particular launch pad is really, really nice. You've got some nice flat even ground, usually like a mowed grass or some kind of a park area. It's a little bit more difficult if you're dealing with like a plowed field. So I have a different launch pad that's got some standoff legs that's a little bit easier to use for this. So go ahead, have some fun building, and have some fun launching. You're going to have a lot of fun building your own custom launch pad. And again, the whole idea is, play around, have fun, and enjoy model rocketry. So thank you.